Welcome back, everyone. We won't take any more time getting right back into James Janowski's in-depth conversation with acclaimed film director Shekhar Kapur as part of the South Asian International Film Festival's Conversation Series. Let's join them.
Let's go back to your first film you directed. I've heard you talk about emotions and storytelling, and there was a certain amount of ignorance going into the film because you had no idea about filmmaking itself.
Yeah. I'd never been to an editing room. We were still dealing with the steam bags. Do you remember the old steam bags? I didn't even know there was a magnetic tape and optical. I did not know how they were married. I'd never seen it being done. I had no idea. Absolutely no idea. On the day that I was leaving to shoot the film, my editor sat down and said, "Do you understand this thing about not crossing the line?" I said, "Not crossing which line?" So well, when a guy looks this way, right of camera, the other person has to look left of camera, and I was scratching my head. What? What does that mean? I think there was a naivety and a lack of any knowledge of the techniques of filmmaking. And so I just shot completely instinctively, completely from the heart, and completely instinctively wrote and shot. I don't know how many of you might have seen Masoom. Anybody has?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I lost you. And I still, people keep saying it's my best film. So if it is, my God, I've made $50 million films. Does anybody guess the budget of that? I think the budget was, what, $20,000? Or something like that. Yeah, $20,000. I think that the lesson I keep telling myself from that film is there greater art than that which is provoked by naivety? Maybe not. I was naive. I had nothing. I just wanted to make a movie, just tell a story. And I went and told her, I had no training whatsoever. No, that's not what I tell people. I wish I'd gone to film school. I wish I can go to film school now. I'm 100% certain that I will learn a hell of a lot. I'll learn how to draw. I'll learn how to animate. I'll learn how to light. Some of us I'm terrible at mathematics. I can't add, although I'm a chartered accountant, a CPA, and I can't add one and one. My balance sheet's never balanced. But I have a visual instinct, framing visual instinct, which I try. I keep trying with my camera. Because I realized very soon that in enclosing you're telling a story. I have an architect friend, David Ajay, who I said to you, I admire architects because you're able to enclose space to give us a sense of infinite space. So I could look up at the sky and say, there's all of infinity here. But you manage to create a space in which I walk into that's enclosed space and I say, wow, it's infinite. A cathedral feels like it carries your emotions up. Framing is a bit like that. The way you frame isolates something and should be able to tell a much bigger story than that which is enclosed in the frame, by the way you frame it. So I found I was good at that. I loved it, I enjoy it. That's what I do.
And one of the things that you did in the first Elizabeth, and it was just one of those where you were somehow pulled something out of the creativity, out of the energy of the universe, was when you had Elizabeth, the first time we see her, and she's dancing. What a way to introduce someone that I don't think we would ever expect to see that way.
There was a big discussion. I seem to remember a big discussion on how to introduce Elizabeth. Everybody was talking, and all the producers and the writers, and they had ideas, and then they said, "Shekhar, you're very quiet, you're the director, how will you do it?" I said, "She's dancing." And I think everybody kind of looked at me with huge doubt suddenly clouded their faces and said, "Oh no, Bollywood." And as I said, I keep trying to get myself fired. They just looked at me and think, "Oh shit." we made the wrong decision. Bandit Queen was an aberration. He's really Mr. India. He's Mr. Bollywood. But I said, no, she's dancing. And finally, when nobody would agree, I had a first shot of her introduction where she's dancing, but I gave her a reason to dance. She was learning dancing, and there was a dance instructor. So everybody found reason and logic to that. But in the very next scene, she's just dancing with her lover. All she is dancing with Joseph Fiennes. And and what was amazing about Kate Blanchett is she didn't question it. She'd never done that before. But she said, that's fine. And so, but what I had to do was I had to promise to put the titles over that just in case it didn't work. So if you ever see the film again, she's dancing. And when I looked at it again, the fact is that she looked vulnerable, she looked like a girl in love, she looked like, you know what it did was? It looked like destiny was about to take over her life. How do you do those three things? If it was a scene, hey, Princess Elizabeth, destiny's about to take over your life. Or, do you love this man? Yeah, I love him very much. Or, you know, he's so young and beautiful. I couldn't think of anything except to put it in a dance. Now, but you see that scene, and that's what dance and music does. It gives you, it provokes you into a larger understanding of more than that moment. Dancing. The title's over it, it's fine. So.
And it worked really appropriate because of the innocence and somewhat to a degree the naivete of her.
Yeah.
And the whole film was about her becoming this woman.
Yeah, and that was important because I, as I often do, I had a sense of the first image of the film, and I had a sense of the last image of the film, and that's really where I started, and I had to fill those images. So the last image was going to be her in the mask, and the first image was going to be vulnerable and young love. So I knew the story. That was the rest of the film was the connection between the two. Now, see, now I'm analyzing. I'm telling you that's how I thought. I don't even remember. I did it.
But I do like when you went to the Golden Age, she's no longer dancing. She's actually teaching people how to dance.
She's in control.
Yeah.
Can I tell you the truth?
Sure.
I had a scene of her dancing that got cut out of the film. Yeah, there was. And I remember when I was shooting it, everybody was crying on the set. And Kate told me, Kate said, she's grown. This is not the dancing Elizabeth. I said, Kate, trust me. And she said, okay. And she was dancing with Clive Owen. And it was beautifully shot, actually. Cameron did a great job on that. And I remember when we cut it together, everybody loved it, said so much about it. Because it was about a doubt. This time the dance was not vulnerability. It was about a woman in that dance wanting to be intimate and yet not allowing herself to be intimate, shying away each time the man was trying to touch her, and it was going on as a swirl in her head.
There you go. You can't get any more in-depth than that. And you saw it all right here on Center Stage. Thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to contact us by emailing us at cs@globosatent.com and visit us on the web at gen-i.us.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Juhi Desai. Sahara Pranam.